What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another Prizepicks WNBA and MLB player props video. This one going to be breaking it down, going over the process that goes into my picks and giving you guys the first 6 pick flex that I did lock in myself today that I did send over to the VIP, and discussing exactly what goes into the process, everything that went into these picks that you're seeing on the screen right now. This is a slip that I had placed yesterday. Went pretty well overall. Unfortunately, Jackie Young missed a free throw at the end of that game, but you can see a lot of green on these picks. If you're looking at the screen and you're like, why did you take the under on Wnba and Williams? Why did you take the over on Jackie Young, Wnba Mlb, Paul Skeens, etc.? These videos should be a nice little sneak peek to answer that for you guys, because there's a bunch of different resources, a bunch of different things that go into it. But we will break it down for you here today. If you're interested in getting access to every single one of my tickets, all of my picks, as soon as I place them, guys, I would highly recommend you hop on over into the premium Discord. You're going to do that by visiting Patreon. You can just go in the link down below in the description. I'll have the KJK VIP package linked. Or you can visit patreon.com, search KJKDFS. In the Find a Creator search bar, you will see me pop up, and you can purchase this, which will then give you access to my Discord, where all of the premium content, the VIP content, is distributed. So this is what I got locked in for the first 6 pick flex, and we'll break down exactly why I like each and every one of these plays once again. So we can start things off with the WNBA action. We got 3 WNBA picks and 3 MLB picks. So number 1, we got Laney on the New York Liberty. The very first thing that we need to address is there's a pretty big piece of news that dropped that Courtney Vandersloot is now questionable due to personal reasons. If she is ruled out, this is going to be a pretty big increase in usage for a player that's already been surpassing her fantasy score pretty consistently. And for a player that I do have projected over here, once again, this 22.5 line is too low on Prizepicks. I've got her going out there and getting in the upper 20s. If we go ahead and we kind of break down, this New York Liberty team as far as their rotation, we want predictable minutes. We want predictable usage, right? And obviously, we want to be targeting players that are mispriced on Prizepicks, whether it's they're priced too high, they're priced too low. In this case, I think she's priced too low. Go ahead and we look at the minutes for this team, how they break down. You can see on the season, a lot of Brianna Stewart, a lot of Sabrina Ionescu, a lot of Laney, a lot of Jones, and a lot of Vandersloot. Once again, there's a possibility. It's not guaranteed. I've already got Laney projected over with Vandersloot in my projections. But there's a possibility that Vandersloot misses this game, and if she does, that's just going to be an even larger increase in usage for Laney, who I've already got projected to go out there and play like 31 minutes, right? So Vandersloot, now that she's a game-time decisions, it's going to be looking a little bit more weary for her, obviously, as to whether she's going to suit up in this game. If she's out, it's going to be an added boost to Laney Hamilton. But once again, guys, my projections factoring in Vandersloot being in, I've already got Laney projected over. All right, so this is going to be a good play regardless. It's just a nice little piece of bonus news there on the Vandersloot injury or the personal reasons. If she were to miss, obviously that's less usage going to other players, more usage funneling over to Laney. All right, so hopefully that all makes sense. Once again, I mean, the projections are factoring in the matchup, the minutes, the usage, all that stuff. I've got it projected to go out there and put up, pretty much 27 fantasy points, 28 fantasy points here tonight. And Prizepicks continues to have her price 22.5, just averaging 24.5 over the last 5. So, these are all good things. We want to have as much room for error as possible and as much edge as we can get in our props, okay? So, for those of you that like to look at the last 5 game logs, she looks nice and pretty there. I really don't care about that. That means nothing to me. But just want to point out, definitely do like her. For pick number 1. Pick number 2, we're going to discuss Brianna Stewart's points and rebounds prop. I got the Odds Jam Sportsbook screen pulled up here, guys. If you have not checked it out, you can use the promo code KJKDFS to get 35% off this tool. If you're not familiar with it, it is Odds Jam. It's the sportsbook screen. It's going to pull in every single data set that's possible to be referring to across a bunch of sportsbooks. Sportsbooks have millions of dollars invested into lines and setting them appropriately. Does look like there has been a little bit of a change in some of these lines since I pre-recorded, but you can see Stewart's listed at 30.5, pretty much even across the entire market, and she was listed at 31.5 in multiple places. Does look like she's still listed at 31.5 over here on Betano. So the more data points we have referring to a possibility of an underprice or an overprice, right, we're going to be using that. Once again, I pulled up those picks at the beginning of the video that I was on yesterday. Like, market research is certainly a big part of that. This is kind of a similar story to the Wnba Mlb, the Courtney Williams picks, and the Jackie Young picks. Unfortunately, Jackie Young missed a free throw that came up short. But I can tell you off the top of my head, I'm doing this every day, so I can remember yesterday, like, Wnba Mlb, the market was swinging more towards 30.5. Prizepicks had her overpriced on that prop. Courtney Williams, the market was swinging towards 18.5. I'm sorry, 16.5. So she was overpriced, right? You get it. So there was edge on the under. She should have been more towards 16.5. Mlb should have been more towards 30.5. I'm scanning the market, right? I'm seeing that. I'm locking in that value. So this is a similar story here for Breanna Stewart today. Do have to admit, like I said, she was listed at 31.5 on FanDuel prior to recording this. And Botano and Hot Streak and Parlay Play. I know she was up towards 31.5 as well. So it does look like the market's coming down a little bit. We still do have one data point that's still listing her at 31.5. And this is a fantastic matchup for not only points, but rebounds. So, I mean, that's all factored in, obviously, to these lines and stuff. So the more data points, the better. I get asked, like, do you watch the games? Do you do this? Like, you don't really need to if you are developing systems and processes that are factoring in millions of dollars of market data and everything else under the sun. So that would be my honest truth for you. But Atlanta's been giving up a ton of rebounds and points to opposing forward one starters. That's where Breanna Stewart's going to go ahead and start here tonight. So that's obviously going to factor in as well. They're giving up 8.5 rebounds and over 6.8 field goals per game. Breanna Stewart's one of the most talented players in the entire WNBA. She can get the job done in the buckets category. She can get the jobs done in the rebounding category. Obviously, we're going to want her to play a lot of minutes when we're targeting this. So the matchup's really good, and her minutes are through the roof. In competitive games, she's going to play upwards of 35 minutes, 38 minutes. So these are all good things, right? I know the WNBA, the data sets can be a little bit difficult to find for some outside of the NBA. It can be a little bit more difficult to scoop up that information, but I just pulled it up for you guys. The points and the rebounds, they've been giving up a lot of them. Atlanta has, so this is going to be fantastic for a good matchup. For sure. Down low, Tina Charles, Parker Tyus have just not been slowing down opposing bigs, and they've been giving up a lot of rebounds. So you can see Breanna Stewart's game logs, 14 rebounds, 33 points last time, 13 rebounds 6 times she had prior. She had a down game, but look at this. It was a 104-68 final score blowout. She only played 24 minutes. So, like, that's where looking at the game logs is going to misguide you. You got to factor that stuff in. And once again, the market always factors all this stuff in too. But you can see she very clearly contributes in the points and the rebounds category. 18 and 15 the time prior. So that's what she does. It's a good matchup for her. The market's telling us, you know, she should be up towards more 31.5. Does look like it's shifted a little bit, like I said, in real time as I hit this record button. I will admit, I saw multiple at 31.5 prior, but that was the thought process there. And then Ryan Howard's going to be the exact opposite. The New York Liberty are a very good defensive team, and they've been brutal against her position as far as, like, allowing points and rebounds. They have not been giving up any. So Liberty's only given up 6.9 rebounds per game to forward one starters, and they're only allowing 6 field goals per game. So it's the exact opposite here for Howard. She hasn't gone over this in each of the last 3. Once again, I really don't care. Every matchup's different. Her last matchup was against Connecticut, which is also a very good defensive team. She only went out there and put up 6. She does have the ceiling to put up way more than this, obviously, but once again, the market's telling us that we do lean towards her under. We can pull up the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer for this one. Another tool you hear me talk about on the channel here, guys, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. You can use the promo code KJKDFest and my link down below in the description for 25% off this tool. This is the same exact kind of concept we discussed with OddsJam that's very valuable of pulling in sportsbook data as quick as possible to give us the best possible props on Prizepicks and all of these other apps. Okay, so they're giving this a 52.81% chance to hit. It's minus 130 on the under on FanDuel. That's pretty heavily juiced. On WNBA props, the most juice you're going to see oftentimes is going to be right around that 130 mark. It's a little bit different in the NBA where we might see that creep up towards like 150 on a lot of these props on the Prizepicks board. So she's very clearly favored to go under here at that 21.5 points and rebounds prop. Daily Grind's helping us find that value quickly. And then obviously I did already point out all the underlying metrics of the Liberty being very good at slowing down opposing forward one starter. That's where she's going to come in. That's all factored into the projections and stuff I just had to talk about. So Howard, guard, off guard position. She's going to have a difficult time. Against this Liberty squad is the anticipation for me here tonight. And there's good value on that under. She's coming in at 21.5 with juice on the under. I also do know if we go ahead and we pull up her over on the OddsJam sportsbook screen, right, we can get more detail. Let's see if she's listed at 20.5 anywhere. And she is, once again. So on Botano, she is all the way down to 20.5. Doesn't seem like a big deal for those of you that might be new to this. It's only one. It's like, what's the big deal? Over a long enough time frame, I can promise you that is a very huge deal. She's got minus 140 juice on the under on parlay play, minus 138 on the under on hot streak. All of these different data points are telling us she's very clearly favored and expected to go under at that 21.5 number. So like that prop here for sure. Those will be my first 3 props to kick things off on the 6-pick flex here on the video today. And now we got to kick things on over to the MLB side of things, so let's get into it. And for the MLB side of things, guys, the first play is going to be Marcus Stroman over 17.5 pitching outs. It does look to me that this might not be available anymore, unfortunately. I've got this pulled up here on the board, pre-selected picks. But if we go to the live board, I believe this has been changed to a Goblin. So let's go ahead and refresh here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you guys are going to be able to lock this in. Oh, okay, he's back. Perfect. So this has been changing on and off from a Green Goblin and not a Green Goblin throughout the day. So you should be able to get this in, but it's going to be Marcus Stroman pitching outs, taking on this Minnesota Twins team. This is a guy that's made a career out of throwing strikes and getting ground balls. So you can see he's gone over this in 1, 2, 3, 4 games. He's got to go out there and throw 6 innings to clear this prop is what we're looking for. And he should be able to do so. Once again, he just throws strikes and keeps the ball on the ground. On the season, he's really struggled versus left-handed hitting, and he did have a bit of a walk rate there for quite some time. Over the last 30 days, though, he has corrected it. It's down to a 9.4% walk rate versus those lefties, only a 5% walk rate versus the righties. He's typically not a guy that's going to walk anybody, so that was a little bit, that wasn't Marcus Stroman like to start things out this season. And he's taken on a Twins team that overall, they have some talent. They're out for go to the current season numbers the last 30 days, but it's really just high-power guys that strike out a lot. And when you got high-power guys, you really need guys that give up fly balls and a lot of hard contact, and Stroman's not that guy. He doesn't give up fly balls, and he doesn't give up hard contact. So I expect them to have some issues here tonight against Stroman. Just from the pitching outs aspect, right? We should expect him to go deep into this game. And then if we go ahead and we pull up the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer here once again, guys, I got a feeling this prop's going to get pulled off the board, so I'm just going to make that clear, or it's going to get turned into a Green Goblin again. It keeps going back and forth from a Green Goblin to not a Green Goblin. I mean, this is massively favored across the industry, right? So once again, Daily Grind's streamlining all this for us. Pinnacle, he's at minus 130 on the over, 138 on the over on FanDuel, 135 on the over on DraftKings. He's all the way up to 163 on Caesars. So for those of you that aren't familiar, on Prizepicks and 5 and 6 flexes, we're having to risk minus 119 implied odds for individual legs. I cover this over in my VIP, in my Discord. I can go ahead and pull that up for you real quick. So this is how it's going to break down as far as the odds are concerned. So pretty much you'd have to risk $119 and $100 in a 5 or 6 pick flex. That's what the underlying, like kind of behind the wall hidden odds are, because it's a fixed payout structure. You're going to get 25x on those 6 picks, and then the the flex. But that's what it's going to come out to. So you'd have to go over to Caesars and risk $163 to win 100. You can get this same exact prop on Prizepicks at minus 119. So it's a very big deal. So the underlying metrics for him look great. The pitch count's going to be good. I mean, I've got him projected to go out there and throw 92 pitches here tonight. So he should be good. Just be efficient. Don't walk guys. And like I said, as you can see on the screen behind me, like he's massively favored here. So this keeps turning back and forth from a Green Goblin to not a Green Goblin. I had all the picks highlighted, and then it got taken off the board. It looks like it's back. And then we're going to round things off with these Boston Red Sox guys, because they're in a fantastic spot. This is going to be ridiculously good. So they get to take on Jake Woodford here tonight. They have a 5.21 implied run total. It's in Chicago. 18 mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out in Chicago. They call it the Windy City for a reason. It's a big deal. And these two guys are going to get a really good matchup here. The White Sox bullpen's terrible. Obviously, starting pitching is terrible. That's all factored into my process here. We look at the underlying metrics for Jake Woodford. He's been a journeyman in and out of the MLB, up and down, coming from the minors, the majors. He just made his way back up. He's not good. And the Red Sox are really good versus right-handed pitching. They've struggled on the year versus left-handed pitching, but Duran on the season, 225 ISO, 356 Wnba. Devers with a 352 ISO, 439 Wnba. ISO is a power metric. Wnba is weighted on base average, just how good they're hitting versus that handiness of pitching. Talked about that run total, the 5.21 implied run total. So I expect these guys to get a lot of at-bats. They're on the road. They're going to get those guaranteed at-bats at the top of the ninth. That's all factored in. And as I had discussed, this White Sox bullpen is terrible. So we can go ahead and pull that up for you guys here as well. So you can get a visual, like, these guys are just terrible, okay? So we look at the season, and the worst bullpen, third worst bullpen in the entire MLB is going to be the Chicago White Sox. So they're very bad, 4.61 xFIP. So not only are the Red Sox in a fantastic hitting environment on the road, they get to take on a terrible bullpen, a terrible starting pitcher, and there are 18 mile-an-hour winds blowing out the straightaway center. In similar game environments, we're looking at a 36.9% increase in home runs, 12.9% increase in total runs, and a 10.7% increase in earned run average. This is a dream spot. And then we can go ahead, we can pull up the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer here again for you guys. They're going to streamline all this data for us, right? And we can look up Duran, we can look up Devers, and we're going to see that they are expected to go over 8.7 projection on DraftKings for Duran. And he's got a bunch of stolen base upside as well. And then we look at Devers, 8.6. You can see he's got a 54.21% chance to hit. Daily Grind really liking him. There's a good chance he's probably going to get bumped up here before the day's over, as he should, because it's just a really good spot here for these guys today. Okay, so those are going to be my 6 picks. The last thing that I didn't mention is Duran's one of the top stolen base candidates in the entire MLB. He comes in here on the list as the 18th guy with 11 stolen bases, which is massive in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. Guys, you get 5 points for every one of those stolen bases. So Devers going to do it with the stick. I'd expect these guys to get a ton of at-bats with the terrible pitching on the road, the weather, and then you got that stolen base upside as well. And it looks like Devers just got bumped in real time. Yep. So literally as I'm discussing it and recording it, Devers got bumped. I'd still take it, guys, especially in this ticket because we're correlating the 2 picks, right? So we're expecting the Red Sox to go out there and put up a big total. We're expecting these guys to produce, and we're expecting them to get multiple at-bats. So it sucks Devers just got bumped. But, hey, man, that's why you got to get the VIP, hop in there. Once again, Stroman could turn into a goblin again. I don't know what's going to happen on this pre-recorded content. I do my best to provide you with as much value if it's free as I can. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you want to get access to every single one of my picks, every single one of my tickets as soon as I place them so you can beat those bumps so you don't have to deal with the annoyance of it happening. When you tune into these videos after work or wherever the case may be, you can get notified right away in my Discord as soon as I place them, right? So it's pretty simple. I'm going to send it in literally immediately after I place. So you can see I sent it in, 1 unit play right away, right? You guys saw that ticket that we're sweating here with the Drew Holiday assists. That's another free pick for you. I had sent that in yesterday, right? We already locked that in because some of those props were going on yesterday. But you can see on my screen, like, this is my ticket I had placed. I sent it in right away. So the exact ticket, you're getting them as soon as I place them. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Wishing you all the best of luck on your Prizepicks WNBA and MLB player props tonight. And we will see you in the next one.